Hello, this is Zach with the Movie Castle. If you're wondering why I'm in the back of a van somewhere, I literally just got out of the theater a little bit ago. Just saw Child's Play, the 2019 remake. So, not exactly a review, well, I guess kinda, but it's more my first fresh impressions, literally just got out of the movie. What do I think of it right away? This is actually the first movie I went to see all by myself. I usually go with friends or family, but no one wanted to go see it with me. It's sad. And it was actually all by myself in more than one sense. I went on the Tuesday showing because, the cheap discount tickets. And Tuesday at 3 in the afternoon, not too many people want to go see scary movies, so I had the whole theater, just me in it, which is a weird feeling. Anyway, the movie itself, pretty good. Like, if you've seen the trailers, which the big change with this one is that Chucky is now a rogue AI, and I'm glad that they gave me time to process that, because my first instinct when I heard, oh, Chucky's a rogue AI now, I was like, what? That's weird. But the longer I had to sit and think about it, I'm like, okay, that actually kind of makes sense. And, by the time the movie had come out, I already fully processed the change, and I was like, okay, let's just see if it works. And it really did. There's a few things, Chucky, traditionally in all the previous movies, had been a robot, when they were shooting. So, he moved a little bit like a robot, even though he's supposed to be alive. However, in this one, any robotic movements is like, okay, it's supposed to be a robot in frame. And also now, Chucky can walk around, with normal people, and they don't go, wait, why is that doll moving? It's like, oh yeah, we know what that is. So in turn, you get more time with him and Andy just, in public, Chucky's walking around, other characters, don't freak out. When it used to be, Chucky has to freeze, So that really does work in that way, but also, of course, for the metaphor. When the original Child's Play came out, it was all about consumerism and these Cabbage Patch Kids and how much the kids wanted to own the product, and then you even see Andy dressing up like it. In the new one, you have, kind of how marketing is thought of today, all this, internet and tech stuff, and it is a good update to the metaphor. Now, of course, the other big thing, Mark Hamilll. Now, a lot of, horror fans were protective of our actors, everybody flipped out when Doug Bradley wasn't Pinhead anymore. And, to be fair, Brad Dourif, who is the voice of Chucky and also plays Charles Lee Ray, is still Chucky in the main continuity, because for those of you who don't know, the main continuity is still going on, and this reboot continuity are running parallel to each other, which is kind of weird, but why not? So, Brad Dourif's still there in the other continuity, and to be honest, Mark Hamill is like one of the three people who I would say could replace him. He actually, if IMDb trivia is right, actually voiced Chucky on, Robot Chicken. But, he did the work with the Joker, and this isn't just his Joker voice. It's, more robotic, and a little, softer, more, oh, I'm a kid's doll. And he's really, Mark Hamill's one of the few people that could pull off replacing Brad Dourif. This is also a weird thing with this character, though, is, you had the old Chucky, is Chucky the swearing doll, ultra mad, ultra violent. He was already messed up before he was the doll. This one, it's more of a changing character, dynamic character, where he starts off one way and then over time grows and changes. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a more developed character. However, you do have to, pay the price where this new character having to change and grow into psychotic Chucky you don't get near as much psychotic Chucky, you know. You don't get near as much of him swearing or flying off the handle, and it's not the insanity, you know, that you're used to, or at least not at first, and it builds to that, you know. So that's one of the things, and it goes along with this other thing, is there's not quite as much humor as the old movies. The old movies had lots of humor, really funny, and there is some, but, you know, without Chucky being so insane right off the bat, there's not as much as the old ones. Now, overall, though, that's not too many complaints. This is actually a pretty good remake, and I'm glad they tried something new, because you get so many soulless remakes, you know. They always cite Carrie. You know, it's just like, oh, we're doing another Carrie, even though for that one, apparently, the director wanted to do something else, and the studio kind of forced them to make another one. But you see so many soulless remakes nowadays, and I'm really glad, you know, they tried something new and it worked. And, you know, you could tell there's a passion behind it. And trying something new doesn't always work. I mean, people are still all up in arms about Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. But, you know, this time it did work, which is great. And also, it's really good to see, you know, a franchise that had been on direct-to-DVD for a while is, you know, back on the big screen. It's good to see a franchise come back to the big screen. And I hope it does well. It's a pretty good movie. It's not the best thing ever. And, you know, like, they did the remake of It and the remake of Halloween. Well, Halloween wasn't a remake. The reboot. And those are big and amazing, and they made a bunch of money. This is not quite as good as those, but I still really like it. It's good. If you're a horror fan, I'd recommend checking it out. Alright, actually, fun fact, Annabelle, because, you know, I waited till Tuesday to see this, Annabelle's late screenings are actually tonight, too, so, next I'll probably be covering Annabelle Comes Home, although maybe not in the van. I hope there's not too many people, like, behind me thinking I'm all weird. Anyway, see y'all next time.